Well, I polished off my squash soup yesterday. And so I was looking at my recipes and I was thinking, tomorrow, being the weekend, I am going to make a big pot of soup again. And once again, it's going to be hamburger soup because that's the cheapest. Now, I did make chicken stock last week, and from a whole chicken that I purchased, and I got it for like $6, $7. I think it was six something. And so not only did I get a whole bunch of meals for the whole week last week, but I also got broth, and I made like 4 or 5 things of broth with nothing but the chicken bones, and I'll tell you, it was amazing. And I did put it in my squash soup. So yesterday I had frozen some of the leftover squash soup, and I made, excuse me, there's my little boobies. He's a grumpy head. They are a grumpy head today. He's a grumpy head today. Anyway, so I had a little bit of squash soup. Oh, he wants to stay. Sorry. Anyway, I had a little bit of squash soup left, and I wanted to add something to it. So I had bought, he's insisting. Okay, so I had bought a big roll of Polish sausage from Giant Tiger. And so I cut it up in 4, and I took a chunk about this big, and I had frozen some celery and onions in the freezer with garlic. And so I took that out, a package of that, and then I put that into a frying pan with some olive oil. He's trying to climb up here. Anyway, and then I sliced up the Polish sausage, and I peeled it from the skin on it, chopped it up in smaller pieces, and I fried it with the olive oil, with the celery and the onions and the garlic. Okay, so when that was done, I added it to my squash soup. Telling you, it was so good. I had a container, like, I'm on 1 meal a day, right? And I find it healthy for me, and I'm not struggling. But yesterday, that soup, oh my God, for a rookie, like, I can't believe I actually did it. I actually made it. It was like to die for. It was like so good. And then I added in the Polish sausage. Now, what it says to add in is Italian sausage, but I didn't have any, and I don't plan on spending the last bit of money I have to go over and get sausage when I have meat in the freezer. So I have lots of the Polish sausage. I cut it in little cubes, and I use that. And oh my gosh, it was so good. I ate it all. I ate it all. There was a container about this big, a little blue container about that big. It was full right to the top with the squash soup. And I just loved it. I mowed down on that. But this is the recipe that I copied. And, I kind of modify it to what I've got in the house, right? So I had the squash soup. I didn't add anything, no herbs, no nothing, because everything was perfect in it. And all I added was the celery, the Polish sausage, and the onions, and the garlic. That's it. And this, that's exactly what it looked like. Look at that. Like, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. I couldn't stop. I ate it all. I ate the whole container. And I didn't get sick. I can't believe that. I didn't have inflammation or nothing. So that's a good one. What does and has been lately giving me inflammation is, and I don't know why, because I use gluten-free flour. I did buy, I think it's called masala flour. It's a corn flour. Now, corn for me, because I follow the Ayurvedic diet plan, okay, for my body type, corn for me is inflammatory. Well, I think masala is a corn flour. I'm not sure, but whatever. Anyway, I'm finding that my gluten-free crackers, when I use masala flour, I get the inflammation. When I use brown rice flour, I don't get it. So I'm going to have to see if I can find some. I did use non-gluten, the white flour I bought that was non-gluten, and it was amazing, but I did get it on sale, and so they didn't have any more. It was the one box, and they were literally just cleaning off the shelves. So I did buy that. I've used all of it. And I did figure out the different colors of my flours, and I put them in the appropriate containers. But I have to get some more brown rice flour, and that's going to happen at the end of the month. Things are the prices are going up, but what I'm finding is that our local store, I'm in Canada, at the local Loblaws, what they're doing, and it's such a blessing, you have no idea. They're taking big cuts of steak, beef, and like ribs, and like all sorts of sirloin, like all sorts of different types of meat. And they are making smaller packages and labeling them as basically enough for one person, right? And I'm a senior. I'm single. I only cook for myself. But when I buy hamburger, I got to cook the whole thing because, I cook it or I freeze it, one or the other, right? But when I buy the smaller packages, it makes it a hell of a lot easier to do shopping. So it's cheaper for one, and I can accommodate the different meals within that week instead of having, like tomorrow, I'm going to have to make a big pot of hamburger soup, and that's going to be like all week, right? So those smaller containers of the meat make it so much easier to put proper meals on the table for myself, and that's something that Loblaws has done. So the other day they had a stir fry, meat for a stir fry, and there was like seven small strips of steak in this package. It cost $5. Yeah, so $5, and then everything else I have at home. I have couscous. I have the noodles. I have the gluten-free noodles. I have tons of vegetables. I buy the frozen vegetables, and so I can accommodate that into a stir fry, right? And basically the only money that I've spent is that $5 for that package. So any of you single people out there, the most important thing to do really is, to focus on what you're buying, healthy stuff. And a lot of the times we add things to our food to kind of make it go a little bit further. But when Loblaws did that, they not only accommodated my financial needs, they accommodated the fact that now I can have different meals during the week instead of eating the same damn thing every night, right? So I thank them so much for that. And not only with the meats are they doing that, because there was strips of steak for stir fries, and there was hamburger that was made into the small packages. Actually, there was one that had the patties already made, and it was $5. You can't even buy a hamburger at a restaurant for $5, right? So, and all you have to do is cook it yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? So they have accommodated the needs of the single person. Now, I live in a town where there's a lot of students. It's a university town, and that they might be accommodating that for the university kids, right? Because of, when you're going to school, you tell me you have that extra money. I don't think so. So not only myself being accommodated, my needs and my dietary needs, but the students are also. And, I agree with that. I think that's a wonderful thing to do. And I did hear that they are going to continue to do that. So chicken, I think they had chicken, they had strips of steak for a stir fry, they had whole chickens, they had selling chopped up chicken, diced chicken, things like that. Enough for a small package for one person. So, let's think about it. $5 a package, right? And it is $5. That's it. Nothing else. $5. Monday through to, let's say, Friday. That's $50. $50. I don't know any place where you can buy a different chunk of meat every day for a different meal for $50. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the potatoes were a little bit cheaper the other day. They were on sale. The milk was on sale. Cheeses were on sale. I did get some cheese on sale. What else was there? I think flour is up in price. I know olive oil is $36 for a bottle. Yeah, of olive oils. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. The only other thing I could do is, crush my own olives. Or move to Italy. Any takers? Yeah, anyway. I do have to get some olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, because I'm completely out. I am so lucky that I have a friend who actually accommodated me the other day when I was making my pulley sausage and my squash soup. She gave me some olive oil. So that's going to tide me over for a little while, but I do have to purchase more at the end of the month. So I'm starting to make out my grocery list for the end of the month, and I am going to be focusing on the essentials strictly. I have a massive ham in the freezer that was for Christmas, but I ended up cooking a turkey, and then I had the ham left. So I'm going to chop the ham up. I'm going to cook it, and I'm going to chop it up and dice it up, and I'm going to have, some frozen, put some in soup or in omelets, whatever. But I do have to use up the meat first. But the basic essentials, extra virgin olive oil. I need flour. I need spices, oregano, ashwagandha. What else do I need? Couscous. I like to keep a stash of those things ahead of time. I have ran out of coconut oil, and I use coconut oil for oil pulling. I learned that from my daughter. She's got beautiful teeth, yeah. So, so I need the coconut oil. I do need some ginger, and I am going to have to dehydrate it. I do find lately when the weather gets warmer, and I've been doing my 8-kilometer walks for the past 3 days, I've been able to accommodate it. But tomorrow we're going to get rain, and then we're supposed to get 3 days of snow. What can I say? I'm in Canada, right? So you do with what you got to do, right? But yeah, so I do have to make that list, and I have to stick to it. I have to really, really be vigilant and stick to it. And I do make a lot of my own things. But what I'm finding is with that walk and with the stress and having to accommodate the rising prices in some things that I need, I've been finding that on top of the stress, my blood pressure isn't completely stable, and it happens all the time. In the summer, when we start to get the nice weather, in the summer it's worse. Because when I do walk, I gotta hydrate a lot, and I find that I get weak. I wouldn't say weak. What's a word? It's kind of like wobbly. My knees get a little wobbly, right? I mean, walking up hills and things. And normally I don't have that problem, but in the hot weather, I do. I'm a fall girl. I love the fall. I love the winter. Because it accommodates my blood pressure. My blood pressure stays level. But we're going into summer, so we'll see what happens with that. But I do get weak, and so when that happens, I like to carry ginger with me. I do carry cayenne in a little bottle. I do have some on me in a little bottle. Cayenne, and if I feel like if my top lip gets tight, it gets tighter, it gets this funny drawn in type feeling, I take some of this, put it on my finger, put it on my tongue, and in a matter of seconds that feeling is gone. So it saved my ass a few times. But I like to carry a ginger coins with me, and I like the taste of the ginger liquid when I chew it. So I chew the raw ginger, but I'm gonna have to dehydrate some because I run out very fast when I have the raw ginger. So if anyone out there is trying to quit smoking, get a taste for the raw ginger coins. And every time you get a craving, pop a raw ginger coin in your mouth and chew it until it goes down to fiber. And I'm telling you, it'll help you stop smoking. It really, truly works. I quit smoking 8 years ago, and I haven't been back since. You know what I'm saying? So it does work. Be aware of that. So I have to get some ginger also. So I'm going to have to add that to my list. I did get some lemons from a friend the other day, and I'm going to dehydrate them, and I'm going to keep them on the side. I had a recipe. Oh, it was a squash soup. I put orange zest in it, and it tasted so good, but I don't have any oranges left. And I think I peeled the ones that I did have, and I froze them to make orange juice out of. So I might get an orange and get myself some zest and freeze it, so those type of things. But I'm going to be very select, because I want to use up the food that I have in my freezer first, especially the meat. And I do want to start purchasing my meat at Loblaws in the smaller packages, and they're only $5. So, if any students are watching this, which I doubt, but there might be some seniors that are, check out your local grocery store and ask if they will accommodate a senior's diet with just the the smaller packages of meat that are set up for like stir fries and things like that, but only enough for one person, right? So maybe they will. Maybe you can approach a manager and ask them to accommodate that. I do know our local Loblaws is doing it, and they're following on the tail of another grocery store in my area that also started that. The other store actually started it, and Loblaws actually copycat it, and it's working. And I don't care who does it, but it benefits me. So I thank whoever accommodates the smaller packages of meat or foodstuffs. So anyway, that is the end of this video. It was just a short one. I just wanted to show you the soup I made because I didn't take the time to videotape it the other day because it was so damn good. I mean, I even rushed through my meal prayer to get to it, and I ate it all. And that's what it looked like. Like, you can't beat it, right? So squash soup, and you just add in, this one is Italian sausage. I didn't have it. I had Polish sausage. Whatever you got. If all you got is breakfast sausage, toss them in, because it is divine. So I shall see you in the next video. The good Lord be willing. Bye-bye.